benefits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The revolution starts now.
We have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Turn those machines back on!
And we have to start by building a wall, a big, beautiful, powerful wall.
Show me the money!
You are fake news.
Oh, good for you. And how was it?
I don't know when they decided that they wanted to make a virtue out of selfishness.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
Right, Todd?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yep.
Because you gotta love the revolution. Yeah.
Maybe.
Hey, it took me, a few years to finally come up with a name. Help me a break in that.
I will.
But with that, we have Randy here from Painesville Speedway. I was going to say Painesville Speedway.
Yeah, we all do. It's fine.
So, yeah, that was sort of my one fail in life at that.
Yep. But life will just continue.
Yeah, it would be correct if I didn't try to at least butcher at least like something at one point in time.
We all do it. It's fine.
Very true. You want to start off, Todd, or me?
I have stuff in my head. Okay, so how much does it cost for the 2018 season to get in?
Like the cost of it?
Yeah, so it has admissions.
Admissions is going to be $10 for adults through the main gate. I believe it is $8 for seniors, 65 and up, and then for children 12 and from 6 to 12 is $5, and 5 and under are free. So.
Sweet.
So I mean, we're trying to make it affordable for everyone. Pit side will be for like the drivers and everything will be $25 like normal, which is usually $5 to $10 less than other tracks around. So
awesome. Hey Jim, I got anything? I'm putting on the spot now.
Oh, of course. Then I'm going to go and ask the whole description of what you guys do in that.
You want like the long version or the short version?
Either way.
All right. Well,
I'll let you choose. How about that?
All right. Well, I mean, our whole thing is bringing the fun back in racing here in Lake County. The previous owners kind of lost sight of that, so we're just trying to keep going with that. We're having like a kids club, other different opportunities. We're having canned food drives all over. We actually had, I believe, 4 so far in the past few months. I mean, we're just trying to get really the fun back in racing and everything. The drivers are giving us great feedback. And it's really starting to hit home with the drivers and everything. That is kind of paying dividends as I believe we had close to 100 cars our opening day. So towards the end of the season, we got that number again. So I mean, a lot of people are taking notice of that. People from Lorain County Speedway, Sandusky Speedway, Barberton, they're starting to come up here to kind of race along our guys and see how they like everything. We have a few guys coming now from Barberton. They like our track kind of better, so they're going to be joining us next year. So, I mean, it's just it all starts with the way co-owner Jerry Smith sees it is it starts with you have to please the drivers and the fans at the same time. It's a hard battle. Sometimes you have to black flag a driver that every fan loves. So I mean, it's a never-ending battle. But I mean, I think we start off with the right foot forward.
Sort of that tug of war thing.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, some nights the fans love you, some nights the racers hate you. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah, you do your best,
exactly.
And that's sort of on that 50-50 line and that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it is what it is.
Yep, you gotta be fair and just roll with the punches, kind of.
Yep.
That's the entertainment industry for you.
Yep.
I know about that, so
Same
yeah.
Battle. I can relate to.
But that's a decent drive in that Barberton and all that.
Yeah, there's a few guys that actually came from Midville. It's actually in New Philadelphia. So
that's fall.
Yeah, there's guys that came from PA last year, and now that we're just having bigger races and everything, which pays more money, they're kind of extra incentive to come up here and race with us. So I mean, there's guys from all over wanting to come.
Wow.
Yeah. We actually live in Brook Park, Ohio, which is
Okay.
about a 45, 50-minute drive from the track. 35 if you're really trying, but even for the owners, it's a haul. So
Yeah. And then it depends too with rush hour.
yeah,
and that
that's
too.
why I like timing it up. I'm kind of getting used to it, so I kind of time it up.
Yeah, true. Then not including every once in a while with that northeaster weather or Ohio weather that jumps in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. That's when you just put the truck in 4-wheel drive and the speed. You got it.
I like it.
I like it.
A track owner or a track general manager that goes and
I used to race myself, so it's kind of like I know what to do, and the car is starting to spin out. I know back off of it, so it's fine. My mom might
Very
not
true.
think so, but it's all right.
Especially if she actually listens to this.
Yeah,
That's going to get really awkward.
That's fine.
She's just going to come up and say, "So what about that driving?"
Yeah, she knows, so it's fine. She doesn't like
Okay.
it, but I'll roll with it.
We'll just plead the fifth. How about
Yep,
that?
there it is.
Always an answer.
So what is your role with the track?
It's
Or
kind
Speedway.
of all over. Just on race days, I'll be the one that handles sponsors. Sponsors will come up to me with any questions. Drivers will come up to me with any questions. And then throughout the week or throughout the off season, I'm the one that promotes the track, gets sponsors, goes on the Facebook page, social media, website, update all that. It's basically I'm the owners, my dad and Jerry Smith. I'm kind of their right-hand man, so if anything comes about, it's like, go see Junior, go see Randy. So it's basically just I'm like the dude that's just there helping everything. So
The guy with the many hats.
basically, the one night I might wear the promoter hat, one night I might have to jump in and do another position. So it's just you gotta always be on your toes.
Yep.
But it makes everything go a little bit more fun.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it makes time, sort of flies in that.
Right.
So, fair enough. So far, what would be the greatest accomplishment?
Let's see. That's the opening night that we had was September 2nd. Mother Nature did not play in our favor. It started raining, I believe, at 5:30 and lasted till like 8. Is like a monsoon coming through Painesville. But even with that, we had 2,500 fans in the stands. All of them. I don't think any of them left during the rainstorm. They were all waiting it out. They wanted all the drivers. I believe we had 88 cars pit side for that night, and we were trying to dry the track, and all the fans just put their umbrellas up and watched. They were hoping for the night to come, and that was kind of reassurance for my dad and Jerry Smith, who owns the track. They were kind of skeptical about it. Well, my dad was at least skeptical about it at first. He's not from around here, so we're out from like Lorraine area, so we know how those fans are. We weren't sure how these guys are, but they stuck around. They're diehards all here, so it's really reassuring. And then our other greatest accomplishment has to be the Frank Lett Memorial. I believe it was the 7th annual last year, our first time ever running it. The purse was the highest it's been, and we only had, I believe, 3 weeks to plan it. The purse was the highest it's ever been. We had the highest car count with, I believe there was 29 cars for that race. Due to the track being so short or small, we had to start, I believe, 22 of them.
Okay.
This year we're making it even bigger. I believe we're trying to make it 2,500 to win or 5,000 to win.
Wow.
So the purse is going to be up more. That means that more cars are going to come, more coverage for the track and the city as a whole. So it's going to be even bigger this year. So
Very true. But do you guys, with the whole, if it lightnings, do you have to, stop if that happens?
We stop when it rains. So we kind of play it by ear. If it drizzles or something, we may let it go. But as soon as it gets a little too wet, the track it goes downhill. The asphalt absorbs it, and the cars just slide all over. So we basically go under a rain delay. If it's lightning out, we haven't had a go in that situation, knock on wood, but we do have emergency plans. Myself and our race director Joe Pugh. We went down to Daytona, Florida, I believe 2 or 3 weeks ago for the promoters workshop. They guys from all over, promoters from all over come down there, and we kind of go into meetings and little sessions talking about our tracks, talking about different ways to improve. And the one thing we noticed is that we didn't really have a sound emergency plan. So right when we got back in a cold Ohio, we sat down and got an emergency plan together for if there's a bad crash, if there's a lightning, a tornado. We have it all now set up. So
very valid.
Very, very good, because we don't know if it's going to rain one day, and then just it had always paid off to have a plan B or C, basically.
Right. So I mean, just we have the Painesville Township Fire Department right down the street. So if anything goes wrong, the ambulance is always there. So I mean, we have a pretty good team together. So if anything does happen, we can get the fans out safely and everything like that.
But since he brought up the whole with the Daytona, you probably did stop past the track.
Yeah, we actually, my dad, Randy Maggio, myself, Jerry Smith and Laura Smith, his wife, we, and Joe Pugh, we actually went there for the clash. It was like, I believe there was 18 cars or so. It was kind of like before the Gatorade duels or the duels that they have. So, I mean, it was pretty cool. It was my first ever time in Daytona, or at the track, too. So, I mean, it was pretty sweet.
Would you recommend it?
Oh, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It was my first ever time there, hearing cars and everything. So, the first lap, it's kind of boring. And the second lap, they come around high speed, pedal to the metal. So, I mean, it was pretty adrenaline for adrenaline junkies like me and everything. Like, it was pretty cool. But then, I mean, it's such a big track that you can barely see the backstretch. So like it's basically like, I mean, you watch it, you wait for a big crash. If the big crash doesn't happen, then it's not really fun. I mean, out here we have the figure eight and the oval track. So I mean, every lap, that's what I like about our fans. Every lap they're standing up. Every lap they're on the edge of their seats. And especially at our track, you have the bleachers right on top of the action. Out there in Daytona, it's not. I mean, it's fun because it's NASCAR and it's like the experience and everything, but it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not what I dreamt of, but it does. TV does not do it justice. I'll admit that.
Very fair.
I believe the corners are banked so high it's like a 2-story building or something. So
I believe it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but
very valid. Got anything, Todd?
Okay, so how would a driver could race if they want to race in the one upcoming season?
In the upcoming season, you can go on our website. We have the rules and everything already set up. You just go by the rules. There's classes like street stocks and figure eight where guys probably dump about anywhere from $2,000 to honestly probably $20,000 in their motors alone, not including like the chassis works and stuff. But then you have cars like that, and then you guys have cars like the trophy stocks that we're making. That's our new division this year. It's going to be rear wheel drive. Basically knock the windows out, put a racing seat and a cage in, and you're good to go. Or you have the classes like our stock compact Warriors, which is a front wheel drive car like a Cavalier, Beretta out there, 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder. I mean, you guys probably even have them in the parking lot. You just knock the windows out and go have fun. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, bring the fun back in racing. That's what they used to have back in the day. It's just, I mean, just go have fun. And that's kind of beneficial for for us and the fans, because the fans, you might have a guy sitting in the stands like, wow, I think I can beat guys like Joe Corson or Earl Goldie back in the street stock division, but they have to start somewhere. So they can start in the stock compact Warrior division, and they can test the waters and see if they have what it takes. Because not really, there's guys that some guys call them grandstand warriors. They just sit up there and kind of talk and BS about like, oh, this guy can't do this guy can't do that. But then 9 times out of 10, you put them in a car and they I mean, you either have it or you don't. It's probably just like in radio or just like in really any business. If you
even sports.
Exactly, sports. Like you can't put like some guy that's like 5'2", weighs like 100 pounds out there with like Terrell Pryor or something. You know what I mean? It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's very true. Or like the many people that say, "Hey, I could be the Browns quarterback," and that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, not so much.
It's harder than it looks, but I mean,
not literally. It's a lot of big guys that'll fall on top of you.
Right.
So, yeah, that'll sort of go there. So, what's your background and sort of like experience that sort of got you to go and sort of pursue the opposite side of racing?
Well, my dad actually co-owned. He was like a silent owner of Painesville Speedway back in 1998 to 2001. He really lost a lot of money in that deal just from the actual owners and the ones that kind of like stuck him for all of his money, kind of. So my dad, he was kind of distant from racing, didn't really like to go to the races or anything. But then when I was born, I would go to the races because my cousins would race and everything. So that kind of sparked, like, put fuel to the fire or something for me. And everyone said that they can see the look in my eyes. So when I was 13, I was planning to race, but then the track I was supposed to race at changed the rule that you had to be 16. And then as soon as I turned 16, I was getting ready to race, and they changed the rule back to 13. But, I mean, so when I was 16, I started racing. That was my rookie year. I got 2 wins, 2 preliminary wins. It's called the dash and the heat. The dash is 4 laps, and the heat is 8 laps. Kind of just like prepares you for the feature, the main event. And then last year, actually, I raced from April to, I believe it was August, before we owned the track. And I raced. Opening night, I actually won the feature, which is the main event. So that was pretty cool. But then my dad and Jerry Smith, the owners of the track, kind of threw me in the fire, just kind of saying, "Hey, like, go see if you have what it takes." And Jerry actually always preaches that some guys have it, some guys don't, as far as promoting. And I mean, it's a hard job. You have to go talk to people. I had no school yesterday, so I went out to Tyler Boulevard and Lakeshore Boulevard, and I was talking to a few businesses and everything. Some guys, I mean, they don't have what it takes to go talk to even people that are in the business now at other tracks. They don't have what it takes to go talk to other companies and everything, put your name out there. I mean, I think I talked to 40 companies. 20 of them shot me down. 10 of them were interested, and I have 10 meetings set up. So, I mean, you have to go through the needles to go find the penny in the haystack. So,
yeah, literally.
So, I mean, you literally have to be able to face rejection. Like, yesterday I went through probably 7 straight where they were like, "No, like, we don't do that kind of stuff. Like, sorry, what's racing?" Like, there's stuff like that. And then you would just have one that was like, "Oh, yeah, we're interested. Give me a price sheet. Give me whatever it takes. Like, we want to be involved." So, I mean, it's pretty cool, but I kind of never really had experience on the promoting side. But now that I do, we have a pretty good team set behind me. Our race director, marketing coordinators, and stuff. So it kind of really helps me through it all, and puts the name out there. And it's not just me; it's like a team effort. So
very true.
Yep.
Just like the way I explain it to all of them, we're like a human body. Everyone has their own job. Everyone does their own thing, but without the one person, the body can't work. So
that's true. And that's even like the pro selling class I took here. And that you're going to have those ones that you're going to have to sort of, in a way, sort of persuade or you sourcing, but sort of have to, understand of, hey, I'm talking in that lingo that, hey, they don't understand. I should go down.
Right. That's what actually in the promoters workshop in Daytona, we took myself and Joe Pugh, our race director, took a class that was called the Thick Slice. Okay. And I went into it saying, like, what is this? Like, what have we gotten ourselves into and everything? But I mean, it was really cool. He explained it that there's a thin slice of the pie chart that people actually understand racing. Like people go to the track. That's like myself and our fans out here. But then you have the thick slice of the pie that they don't understand racing. They probably live in Fairport Harbor and don't know that there's a track down the road. So that's true. We have to, so for like flyers and stuff, we can't just say that we have street stocks, figure 8, factory 4, because they don't understand our divisions. They don't understand, like, we could say that we have 305 sprints, and they can be like, oh, there's 305 laps in that race. That's boring. But really, it's kind of the type of motor that's in it. You know what I mean? So we kind of have to say, like, I've been kind of starting in like new flyers and stuff, saying like 5 divisions of 5 feature races. So like they show that, or they can see that, oh, there's gonna be 5 races. That's pretty cool. You know, it's only for $10. Like that's nothing. You know. So I mean, you can't even go to a movie for $10 now. You know. So
true.
Yeah. Unless you're a college student, it's only one day a week that you could do that.
Right.
So, yeah, but dating myself, that I haven't been to a movie in like 7 years, so I don't have even clue where the prices are. I figure they're up there.
Yeah, especially when you have a girlfriend. She likes to get popcorn and candy and slushy. Yeah, it gets expensive.
Adds up fast.
Yeah, it does.
Actually, I go look. Actually,
we'll run to a quick break so you can get Moosey on out.
I got a condo in Manhattan. Baby girl, what's happening? You and your ass invited, so gonna get to clapping. Go pop it for a player, pop it for me. Turn around and drop it for a player, drop it for me. I'll rent a beach house in Miami. Wake up with no jammies. Lobster tail for dinner. Julio served that scampi. You got it if you want it. Got it if you want it. Said you got it if you want it. Take my wallet if you want it now. Jump in the Cadillac. Girl, let's put some miles on it. Anything you want, just to put a smile on it. You deserve it, baby. You deserve it all. And I'm gonna give it to you. Gold jewelry shining so bright. Strawberry champagne on us. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Sex by the fire at night. Silk sheets and diamonds, all white. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. I'm talking trips to Puerto Rico. Say the word and we go. You can be my flica. Girl, I'll be a flico, mamacita. I would never make a promise that I can't keep. I promise that your smile ain't gonna never leave. Shopping sprees in Paris, everything 24 carats. Take a look in that mirror. Now tell me who's the fairest. Is it you? Is it you? Is it me? Is it me? Say it's us, and I'll agree, baby. Jump in the Cadillac. Girl, let's put some miles on it. Anything you want, just to put a smile on it. You deserve it, baby. You deserve it all. And I'm gonna give it to you. Gold jewelry shining so bright. Strawberry champagne on us. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Sex by the fire at night. Silk sheets and diamonds, all white. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. You say you want a good time, but here I am, baby. Here I am, baby. Talk to me, tell me what's on your
So we are back. Minus Todd. Yeah, that whole work thing, gets in the way of things and that every once in a while. But yeah, I do like the whole idea, especially because I don't know because it's one person registered in the chat that right now. I do like the idea of a bar.
Yeah, I mean, it's still in like the early stages. My dad I think he just goes to sleep at night and just stays up for about like 5 hours like I do. And we just think of the new ideas and stuff, and one morning he decided to come to me and just goes like, hey, what do you think about a bar? That, also a Hall of Fame we're doing. It's gonna be a, he likes to call it shadow box. It's basically going to be a trophy case, along where not bathrooms, the old souvenir stand is, or was. We blocked that off, and made it so there's no window anymore, so we're going to put a trophy case there. We're inducting 10 drivers or fans from the past into the Hall of Fame this year. So there's a lot of kids and elderly people that come to the track. So we have a crash club. It's based on our mascot. It's a kids club for the kids, and then we have the stuff for the elderly, the Hall of Fame, and we actually have the Gordon Allen Memorial. Gordon used to be the owner back in, I believe, the 80s. So, and he played a big role in making Painesville Speedway what it is today. So we have different memorial races that really give the old-timers something to think about and come back for. That's
kind of nice, to sort of honoring in a way that
Yeah.
history that sort of where it was and that, and even now and that.
Right, because I believe my thing always was at the track that I raced at, there wasn't enough memorial races because, I mean, there was rich history out of Lorain County Speedway. Same with Painesville Speedway. I mean, Painesville Speedway's kind of been like a cornerstone of racing here in Northeast Ohio, whether people know it or not. So there's people like Russell Lawson. The Lawsons have a big role in racing in Northeast Ohio. Russell Lawson, we have a modified race for him. We actually have two this year. Doug Shipman, some people may know him. He got into a bad car accident a few years ago. So we're honoring him twice this year. Frank Lett, like I said before, he I believe he raced a few seasons, but he also was a very prestigious car owner and a mechanic out at the track. So the old owners actually started that, and we're keep going with that tradition. I mean, Gordon Allen, the original Ironman. So I mean, it's all coming together. We just like to balance out the fan count. There's the old timers that maybe forgot about the track or have bad taste in their mouth from previous owners, that we want to bring them back and give them what they really always dreamed about and what they love in Painesville Speedway.
Definitely, especially the whole add-on of, if you think sort of a Hall of Fame, the fans sort of being in that.
Right.
You wouldn't even think that until it's like Hall of Fame. It's like, okay, whatever. Then when that's sort of like, you know, like, wait, what?
Yeah, there's a few people that are actually going to be inducted. We were talking the board that I have set up down the road, that there's a few fans that are going to be inducted here soon. And there's really like old past workers, past owners. So I mean, it's going to really hit home for a lot of people, not just fans of the drivers on the track. There's going to be people that the old timers used to see in the concession stand or in the tower making calls or something. So it's just going to hit a lot of
behind the sign or scene people on that.
Yep.
That's a nice tribute.
And I
mean, appreciate that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just say like people nowadays see myself, my dad, the other owner Jerry. The race director Joe Pugh going out and talking to sponsors, and they're kind of like the focal points and the spokespersons for the track. But really, there's, I would say, probably 20 people behind the scenes. They may work in the concession stand, they may work on the safety crew, they may be in the marketing department, but without them, this track would not be able to be afloat. None of our big accomplishments that I mentioned earlier would not be possible because of them and everything. So, I mean, people only see maybe like 4 or 5 of us that are making the calls and making the big gains for the track, but really every announcement that we make, usually 4 or 5 people came up with the idea together and planned it out together. So I'm not the only one that does it, or my dad's not the only one that does it. It's really a team effort.
You're just the regularity
exactly.
of you sort of like
Yep.
push it in that,
Yeah.
but then it's other people behind you say,
Yep.
"Hey, do
Yep.
this, do it."
Yeah, basically, it's just kind of just like, hey, like we'll have marketing meetings maybe like once a month or so, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, like this seems like a good idea. Then I'm the one that has to, because I'm one of the only ones that have access to the Facebook page or the website, so I'm the one that makes the announcement, and people are the ones that come up to me like, wow, that like canned food drive idea was really good. Like, no, it wasn't my idea. So it's like
Getting the credit that's
Exactly.
not technically your credit.
But I mean, that's the thing.
You're just the
about-
victim of, hey, every once in a while,
Yeah.
of someone just lays something that says, hey, I came up with this. You go and punch and type this up.
Right, basically. But I mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing about, like, say if our marketing coordinator, Brandy, she posts something or anything like that, or our announcer, actually, Dave Wallencheck, he does a lot of marketing. Even our videographer, Russ Butcher, he does a lot of marketing for us. So, I mean, even if, say, Dave or Russ goes out there and makes a post or says something about the track, I mean, it could be my idea, but I'm just saying, hey, you take the reins, you go do it. I mean, you know what I mean? So it really is a team effort, and really we all have a great bond. We had a Christmas party together. We had multiple parties together. So, I mean, we all are like a big family.
Very nice. So, I'm going to go off on my one thing of, is there any necessarily like new skills you sort of had to pick up with going now behind the scenes, from going from a driver to?
Well, it actually was beneficial being a driver and then having to be a promoter, because I understand where the drivers are coming from. So if, say, a driver's coming to me, not necessarily complaining, but has a complaint about something or anything, I understand where they're coming from, and even like I know where they're coming from. So say some tracks, they like to advertise more to win, and then less money to start. So it may go 5,000 a win, but then second place gets a big drop off, so like $1,000, and then third place gets like 500. So it's not really. So say you have to win to be able to go home and make money that day. So the way I see it, and the way a lot of other racers see it, is instead of making it 5,000 to win, and then second place is 600 or so.
Yeah.
I mean, or 1,000. That's a $6,000 purse. So then why don't you break it down? Make it first place gets 3,000, second place gets 2,000, third place gets 1,000. So I mean, it's kind of beneficial for myself being a racer, and especially Jerry Smith. He used to be a racer. So it's we kind of put in perspective like what we learned during racing and put it into focus.
In a way, sort of putting yourselves even in those shoes of,
Exactly.
hey, would I be cool with this?
Exactly.
No, I absolutely hate this.
Yeah.
And that.
Yep. Just like rule changes and stuff, we know exactly how the racers think, so we have a pretty good grasp at, hey, they're definitely going to hate this rule. We're not even going to do it. You know what I mean? So
I gotcha. So, because you guys just took over a year ago. I'm not going to do the whole when you guys started, because we sort of tapped that. So,
well, it's actually ironic because we started leasing the track in August, but then we officially bought it on October 31st, Halloween, and 2 years later,
funny.
2 years later, we actually that was the day that my family bought my first race car. So it's like Halloween's, I guess, a big kind of cornerstone and a big day for us in the Maggio family. So we kind of.
Did you play in the lottery? You should have.
I know. I was saying.
Just thinking of that, it's like, yeah.
Right.
So you know what? If it happens a third time, right?
What?
get to play in the lottery.
Yeah.
Especially if it happens in threes.
Yeah.
You can't pass that.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty coincidental.
Right.
Someone's trying to tell you something.
I know. God's over there trying to knock on my door telling me to do something different.
So, what would be the location that you guys are at?
We are at 500 Fairport Nursery Road, just off of the Bacon Road exit on Route 2. You just turn left on I believe that is Fairport Nursery Road, and then take that road all the way down, and it's on the right, right by. It's some kind. I don't know what bar it is, but I know there's some trouble that goes on in that bar in front of the property. So it's right by that bar, right before you hit Fairport Harbor. So.
Okay. And how would you best describe your sort of fans, customers? Is there sort of both?
Well, they are a unique breed. I will admit that. I like when you go from Lorain County Speedway or Sandusky Speedway or any other track around here, you have the ones that we're only gonna, we're not doing anything on Saturday night. Let's just go to the track. Or you have like the family that's like they come like maybe 3 times a year. They only come for big races. But our guys and gals and kids that from Painesville, there's fans that come every single week. If they have a wedding and the wedding starts at 5, they'll leave the wedding right when it ends, and they'll come right to the track. So, I mean, they're a real dedicated crowd, and even opening night, you can see that. I touched on that earlier. We had 2,500 fans in the stands for our first night of racing. And they stayed in the pouring rain with umbrellas just popped up for a good 2 hours. I'm sure some of them got sick on Monday, which it could have been a blessing or a curse not going to work, but they still stuck through it, and they just wanted it for they love that track. That's why we push Painesville.
Their second home.
Exactly. We push Painesville Pride. Our co-owner, he actually started that hashtag on Facebook and Twitter. I mean, we have a lot of pride in our racetrack. Some guys, like when Painesville drivers go out to Lorain or something, they're like, "Oh, here comes the hillbillies" or something. But I mean, we have the pride, and it's one big family. Like one day, myself and a driver will be arguing about a call or something, and then the next day he'll call me back, or I'll call him back and be like, "Hey, we were off guard. Like, I'm sorry." Like we're like all brothers and sisters. We just always...
Every once in a while that, dumb little fight in that,
Exactly.
but you make up like within 24 hours.
Exactly. That's how it usually goes. Sometimes it goes for longer than 24 hours, but then usually the next week we're back to talking.
Well, if you go through the 70-30 rule, that's not that bad.
Yeah, we're pretty lenient with it.
So if you think, most of the times you get over it really quick, it's not bad.
Right.
Not bad at all. So where do you see the business in a year from now?
In a year from now, I see it. I always stress on Facebook that we're gonna put Painesville Speedway on the map. There's some like Speed 51. There's some media outlets that kind of overlook Painesville Speedway just because, like I just said, they see us as hillbillies, or they see us as their track's too small. It's not exciting. But really, it is honestly the most exciting racing I've seen. Even when I'm running around busy on race day, I always have to stop and kind of take in a few laps of a race because, I mean, these drivers they're always on the wheel. Some guys from Sandusky or Lorain will come up here for a weekend and race with us, and they'll text me on Monday morning saying, "Wow, my arms are tired," or "Wow, I don't know how these guys do it every week," because it's constantly turning, constantly battling your car. I mean, a lot of tracks, it's the car that wins, but here it's the driver. It's a true driver's track, and it's really you have to have a lot of talent to be able to win at Painesville Speedway. But I do see it. Getting back to your question, in a year from now, I do see us having a bigger impact in the community. We actually are having canned food drives, and I'm actually set to announce a car show tour that we're doing. So we're hitting a few local businesses, and so we will be getting our name out there. We'll be getting more fans and stuff like that. So I believe that in a year from now, it's going to be one of the cornerstones, or one of the we're going to take a trip to Ohio. We have to go to Painesville Speedway, or
You go to Rock Hall, I need to go to Painesville.
Exactly. Like down south in Florida, you have New Smyrna, which is a pretty good, pretty known track down there, and then you have Daytona. When you go to Florida, it's like, wow, does New Smyrna have a race this weekend? Well, I believe that it's gonna be not even race fans. Like, they're gonna type in what to do in near Cleveland, and Painesville Speedway should pop up here in a few years.
I like it. That's the funny thing is, I was going to go the whole community of, hey, you go. If you have anything that you're branching out on now, or if it's future different ideas that you got.
Right. Well, we canned food drives.
It's kind of funny.
Right. Canned food drives. That was a good idea from our part owner, Jerry Smith. He kind of hit a home run with that. It started with, I believe, Painesville Credit Union, and that was they're a big supporter of the track, and it branched off to going to the west side near where I live at Detroit Auto Parts, and then now we're going to Hamden Corners in Chardon next week. So I mean, we're really, and then I saw on Facebook a few weeks ago that the poverty numbers of the poverty level for Lake County and Geauga County. And it kind of hit home with me, because I mean, anyone with a heart does not want to see those numbers. So that's why we do canned food drives. I came up with the idea of warm weather clothes drive. It's kind of a long name, but I believe we're gonna implement that next winter. So I mean, it's gonna.
We do got that around here even now.
Yeah. Yep. So I mean, we're gonna really. Hit home. We're going to go to several different small businesses. So when we come, we advertise our track, advertise what we branch off and everything. We get canned foods or warm weather clothes or something to benefit the community, and the small business gets some business because maybe they'll run a deal with us, like 10% off their food, 10% off their products or something. So, I mean, it really helps everyone involved, so...
Okay. Now I'm going to go this of, what would be the main goal of what you're trying to accomplish?
Well, it starts off with, I mean, every business owner is just, let's go get money. Let's go make money and stuff. But, I mean, I was the same way in the beginning of it, but now I made friends with people that I've never even thought about being friends with. I've kind of mellowed out, I think, and I've been able to mature and take a step back and just think, wow, like there's a lot of things that we can do to impact this community around us. So, I mean, the overall goal of this is really to obviously make money, obviously get fans in the stands, keep racers happy, keep fans happy, but really just to keep the Painesville pride in Painesville. I mean, previous owners down the road, or back in the day, they lost track of that. I believe they had that intention with them in the start of it, but they kind of they really didn't. They lost sight of that down the road and everything. So I believe that if we keep that Painesville pride mentality and our family mentality, that it'll be able to succeed down the road for years to come.
Okay. Now we're going to go to the whole future. Where do you want to see it 5 years from now?
5 years from now? Oh, I'll be old.
Yeah, that whole future thing.
Right.
What you doing, what you have on premises, all that.
Well, let's see. We would like to probably bring back go-karts. That was always a big thing. with the previous owners. It wasn't part of the deal for the track. At least to my knowledge, it wasn't. So I mean, we might bring those back. Like I said, different ideas like the Hall of Fame, possibly a bar being built. I mean, the opportunities on that property are really endless. I was even thinking, we always mess with my mom. We actually, since we live so far away, we actually bought a camper, and we're going to have it on the premises. So I was like, we always mess with her, but like, all right, you have to go get to work, make a garden and everything. So I actually came up with the idea. I'm sure that Jerry and Joe and my dad are going to laugh at me or something, but I actually came up with the idea about maybe having like gardens, because we have maybe like plant some trees, be eco-friendly and everything. Maybe we have a pretty big field that kids play football in and everything. Maybe cut it in half and do something like that. I mean, the opportunities are endless. I really do want to be a part of the community even more. We actually just got papers for the City of Commerce or Chamber of Commerce. So
yeah, wouldn't that be the West? I think maybe Western Commerce.
I'm not sure, but I know that
I think Painesville would be considered that.
Painesville's Credit Union actually introduced us to it.
Okay.
They were in it, so I mean, we're gonna probably, myself and Jerry Smith and maybe Joe Pugh, we'll be going to a luncheon or a breakfast here coming up. So
those are really nice.
Right, just to get involved, get our word out there. I mean, like I said, some people don't even know the track's even open or even there. So
or even that it switched hands.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, we are growing fast, and the word is getting out a lot. But there's still room for improvement, and room for promotion. So.
In the future. Let's see. What would... No, I'm not going to do that one. As sort of, since you're the general manager, what would be sort of the, management type that you sort of handle? Whether it's, an issue with the driver, an issue with a fan, or, two fans going at it, all that.
Well, I'm honestly on race day. On Sundays, I'm very sore just because I'm running around doing everything. I could be helping a driver with his transponder or with his radio, just getting it dialed in and everything. I could be talking to a sponsor, or I'm more of the promoter type, so I'm like bring the business in and give them like a dinner or something, set up a tent for them and everything like that. So usually on race day, I'm more of a honestly hands-on guy. Sometimes, like last year, I was helping in the tower scoring. I was helping make calls. I'm all over the place. Basically, whatever my dad or he calls me his other son, because he has a son, but he tells me that I'm basically his favorite. But Jerry Smith, he's taught me a lot, and literally whatever they ask me, whatever Joe Pugh asks me, whatever anyone asks me, I'm usually the guy that does it. So
I gotcha. Then I gotta love the one person that messages in under Schmunk.
Schmunk?
Yeah. So what's your favorite division at the Painesville Speedway?
That's hard.
By the way, you forgot the.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, everyone does. I mean, I do most of the time. But my favorite division, that's hard. It would have to be either... Well, I can really say any of them, but my favorite is figure eight, honestly, because I've never seen a figure eight before until the day that we bought the track. Same with our race director. He's never... we're from Lorain area. We're from out there. So we never really experienced a figure eight. The first night we got there, I mean, there was a hit in the intersection, and we're like, what just happened? Like, is he okay? And he's still going. So, I mean, they're honestly some of the baddest, most, they don't have, like, I mean, they just go with their car. If they see someone coming, they need to win that race. They're going. So, I think that's one of the favorite divisions. also there's the street stock division. I can touch on
Okay.
that. There's I believe our car count was about like 18 or so a week, which is probably one of the best in Ohio.
Alright.
Those guys are some of the most talented. We had guys from Sandusky and Lorraine come and challenge them, some from Barberton, but our guys, they just have too much talent. Guys like Earl Goldie, Joe Corson, Leon Phillips, Josh Neisnick, the list goes on and on. They have some real talent, and honestly, if they had money, they'd be able to make it in NASCAR. But I mean, nowadays, like, you need money to make it big nowadays. So I mean, even in anything really. So I mean, but
Yeah.
our guys are some of the most talented in Northeast Ohio, or probably the Midwest.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. Yeah, you need a lot of money.
Right.
Because heck, one those normal NASCARs, what, probably have to be like 10 mil?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yep.
I'm just taking a blind start,
Right.
shot in the dark on that one.
Right. But I mean, even other divisions like the Factory 4 division, I kind of took those guys under my wing last year. They kept asking me for a big race, so I got a sponsor for them and got a big race for them, and they were really grateful for it. They're all class acts. They all help each other out no matter what. Let's see. There's look at that. I always have to answer the messages too. I already got a message from a driver. But then the Renegade division, they used to have a lot in that division. They're slowly dwindling down, but there's some revival this year. I believe that we'll have the highest car count in the past few years there. Our stock compact warrior division, that's Jerry Smith's baby. That's his first like implemented thing that he had at the track was, hey, we're going to do this division. I don't care what you guys think, it's happening. And the first night out, they had, I think, 30-some cars. So, I mean, and then the trophy stocks, that's our new division this year. I believe I know our goal to begin with was probably like 5 cars to start with, and then as it grows, get it bigger and bigger. But I believe this year we will start opening day with, I want to say 12. There's a lot of interest in it. A lot of good guys, a lot of guys coming back that had Carson around that are able to race that division. So I think that'll be.
I'll go with 16. I'll put number 2. What?
All right. Yeah. Well.
So you don't have to take the burden off it. How about that?
Hopefully, I would love 16 cars in that division. I mean, they're all good guys. They're all most of them are old timers with old street stocks laying around. That street stocks have kind of evolved, kind of gotten out of hand, but they with the money situation and everything. But these guys have cars sitting around that they're able to race now, so they'll definitely enjoy that.
I gotcha. I just thought of something. I forgot the one thing. Because actually one of our advisors for here, he's actually a huge race car guy. So I forgot to see in case he actually tried to call. Because he actually has a racing video game, all that stuff,
really?
Yeah.
iRacing?
It's something off his computer and that. Okay. He didn't try to. Figured I would be, I didn't think of that until.
Right.
Shame on me for that. So, what would be the biggest success?
From the track so far, or? There's actually a few. Just my biggest success is coming into the job that I'm in now. I kind of was skeptical. These guys that racing at our track, it kind of gets difficult to win their so-called respect and everything, just because they're all hard-headed. It's their way or the highway. But I think that my biggest success so far is probably winning their respect. I know a few guys have messaged me and everything saying like, hey, like, great job so far, you're doing great, you're busting your butt. So I mean, winning their respect has really gone a long way with me.
Very true. Yes, Tim, I wasn't saying that you called, but I just thought of if you would actually thought of that. But then he has to go and play the card of, who's your favorite driver? He's got to be that person.
NASCAR or Painesville?
Painesville.
He even capitalized the. All right.
Yeah. You could do NASCAR, or I'll go to the thing of NASCAR.
NASCAR is Kyle Busch.
Okay.
I just like the way he drives, the way he has a bunch of haters, but he still fights through and everything. At Painesville Speedway, that's tough. See, all these guys, I've heard of them before this year, but I never really met them and everything. But now that I met them, I'll go by division because that'll make it a little easier.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna get me in trouble. It's probably gonna get me in trouble, but I'll still answer it.
Okay, top two.
Top two
for each. How about that? So you'll be less in trouble then.
All right. In street stocks, it has to be Leon Phillips. He actually, on opening day, right before the rain delay, actually, the power went out in everything. So everything was down. We scrambled around. We were like chickens with our head cut off. So we were kind of stuck. But Leon, he thankfully actually races with us in the street stock division, and he actually works for a lighting company or something or electric company. So he had his tools with him, luckily, and so he called his buddies from his work, and they came and helped. So that won my respect over. He'll actually be in the Piston Power Show out at the IX Center in 2 weeks or 3 weeks with us. And then my other favorite driver for that division, he's not a regular at our track. He's actually a lifelong friend of mine, Matt Wilson. I just went to his wedding last week. He normally races at Lorain County Speedway, but travels around. He came to Painesville just because he knows me and we've been friends for a while. So, but Matt, he drives everyone clean. He drives everyone with respect. If you rub him, he'll rub you back. If you don't touch him, he won't touch you. So that's the way I like it. Especially now on the other side of things, where I'm like, oh, don't touch. We don't need another caution. We have to finish by 11 o'clock. So. But then the figure eight division, I've never really known these guys until this year, but I never really heard of any of them until this year. But my one favorite has to be I need three for this one, but George Train. He's an older guy. The first time we opened, he was the first one in line, first one for practice, first one. He was ready to go. Never really heard of him. Some of these guys I've heard of, but him I never have. Lou Hill Jr., he's a real advocate of the track. He's actually going to be revealing his car with his buddy Ryan McAllister at Hamden Corners on March 10th for a canned food drive. But he's the real advocate of the series. He actually brought his buddy Ryan into the sport. His dad's a racer too. And then my third one for figure eight, I would have to say Chad Tikovic / Charles Herman. They're kind of the same person, but they're the first time at the track, or I believe it was the first week. My dad sent me into the pits after the races to clean up and kind of send them out on the way so we can get going to get home at a decent hour, and they had some beer cracked open and everything. They're like, oh, come here, aren't you 17 here? Here's a beer. I'm like, no, I can't. But they're really cool guys. I went over there to kick them out technically, but I ended up staying there for about an hour talking to them. So it's always fun. I mean, my dad might have gotten mad, but it's fine.
Every once in a while, you can sacrifice just a little
exactly.
sleep.
Trophy stocks, I'm not sure who's going to be in the division. I know a few names, but I don't really know them personally or their driving styles yet. Factory 4, that's another hard one. I always liked Jared Tomlinson. He's actually taken the year off. He raced against me a few times at Lorain County Speedway. Same with Austin Burkholder. He raced against me a few times. So, I mean, I know how they drive. I know how they are. I know how they are talking to the promoter and everything. They're really down to earth. And then the Renegade division, stock compact, we'll put those guys together. Stock compact. There's a lot. There's some guys they're kind of hot-headed, but once you get them settled down, they'll do anything for you. There's guys like Kenny Hickman, guys like Alan Stinky Filkins. They call him Stinky. He doesn't smell. I'll point that one out. He doesn't smell.
I figured.
Right. I don't know how he got that name, but he
some kind of weird thing.
Right.
That just happened.
Right. They're very nice guys. They'll give you the shirt off their back if they need it. So, thanks, Tim, for putting me on the spot. That was kind of hard, but it was. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that just they'll do anything for you, really. And I mean, I don't know if they're trying to kiss some butt because I'm the promoter. I have it in with the owners or not, but there's guys I've known along the way before the racetrack that well,
if they want to necessarily be there, so they sort of have to be a little bit nice.
I mean
you can think of it that way too.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, if they want to actually race and not have to drive to a track that's a long, decent way.
Well, I'm not the type of guy that'll, if you badmouth me or if you give me harsh criticism, I'm not the guy that will be like, hey, you're suspended, hey, you're kicked out. I'm the one that I'm willing to go up to you and talk to you and discuss things with you. So, I mean...
Yeah, but, you never know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just easier not to go that route.
That's true.
Why make life harder?
Exactly.
So Mr. Peanut Gallery, do you have anything else, Mr. Tim? While he's sitting there in that. Advertising, we sort of went. Let's see. Future. So far, the biggest issue.
The biggest issue? That would have to be from our friends from the Painesville Township and the Painesville City. Not sure which one gave it to us, but we're trying to fight it. They gave us an 11 o'clock curfew. It's kind of getting some turmoil from our drivers and the fans that there's never been any curfew at all at the track, probably from the past, I'd say, since it opened. But I mean, that's kind of gotten some turmoil and a pretty big issue. We've been going to the courts and stuff to resolve it, but I don't think we're gonna get it. So we're working around it. We're gonna put our new start time at 6 o'clock. And we're gonna start at 6 o'clock. No, we're not gonna do any. We're not gonna do just like, hey, we're gonna start at 6 o'clock, but then we don't get start racing until 7. We're not gonna do that. Last year we did that a few times just because it was our first time running the track and everything. But this year we are already going through dry runs and run-throughs of the racing day. So we're gonna have the national anthem. Everyone, we are very big on America and respecting our country at Painesville Speedway, and all the drivers, all the track crew, and really anyone from the pits can come out on the track. At 5:45, we'll have them lined up on the front stretch. We'll have the national anthem singing and everything, and then 6 o'clock comes around, the cars are rolling, and the green flag drops. So we're working around it. So
I gotcha. Well, it's sort of that growing pains of, hey, you're sort of new on the block.
Exactly.
Not everything's perfect in that.
Exactly.
So it sort of happens, with everything. So I think that's really it off of this. Except if you want to do the whole competitors and that.
What do you mean?
Your biggest sort of competitor.
Oh, like different tracks?
Yeah.
I personally like to work with any track that wants to work with me. I know Midville Speedway just got, I know it's pretty far away, but they went through new ownership, and now a new owner has it. So I'm working with John Chapman pretty closely. Me and him and I will actually give back ideas and everything for each other. He'll text me probably at 2 a.m. and I'll text him right back about like if say if I'm racing or if we're having a big event on this day, he doesn't want to schedule over us. If same vice versa. Painesville Speedway, they're another one. They actually have a new promoter just like me, so we're kind of trying to work together. I gave him info about going down to Daytona with us. He wasn't able to make it, but I'm trying to build relationships around that. Let's see, Lorain County Speedway, they had some turmoil last year. Another reason why I kind of stopped racing near the end. Even before we owned the track, I stopped racing. I didn't really agree with what the promoter and what the general manager and everything was doing, but with the track and the direction it was going in. But now it has new owners. Now it has a brand new logo. They're trying to start fresh and everything. The Bonema's actually own that. Kevin Bonema, Nick Bonema, his father actually passed away. I was very close with him, and my uncle was very close with him. Our family was really close to him. So it kind of touches home with me. I'll work with Lorain County Speedway if whatever they want. Sandusky Speedway, there's some bad blood between us, but I mean, I'm willing to work with whoever wants to work with us. It's really, the way I see it is, we're not gonna have racing grow in Northeast Ohio just by one track. We have to work together. We have to be on the same page.
Sort of the whole community thing.
Exactly. Like like if we schedule a big street stock race on September 8th, and Sandusky or Lorain or Barberton or Midville or someone just tries to schedule another one over us, so those guys can't come up and run with us. I mean, it's just hurting the community. It's hurting the fans. It's hurting the drivers, especially because they don't know what to do, really. So you know what I mean.
In both places.
Exactly. So I mean,
yeah.
It gets along. I mean, getting along with other tracks really pays dividends. Midville actually opens up on the 14th. Same with Lorain. So the 14th, I'll be heading down to Midville to promote our Sunday race on April 29th. We have a Sunday race because our cavalcades were our cavalcade runs a weekend long. Sunday's like a big feature event, big money races and everything. But it got rained out 3 times last year. Mother Nature was not on our side, so we rescheduled it to April 29th, and April 28th is our actual opening day for the 2018 season. So I'll be down there at Midville on the 14th supporting their track and promoting the Sunday race. And then the 21st, I already have it on my schedule to go to Lorain County Speedway if they'll have me. I don't want to step on anyone's toes and possibly promote the 29th race or even just take in some racing. I'm the type of guy that I'll drive anywhere to go see some good racing. And Lorain County always, their track, the way it's shaped and everything, it's always great racing. Same with Midville. Midville, they only, back in the past, I only had a chance to go down there for special events. I mean, it's a long drive for me and everything. So going down there is like Christmas for me. It's like, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, great, I get to go to Midville. Like, it's great. The drive sucks, but I mean, getting down there and taking in the racing, it's great.
Well, the drive down there sucks, but then the drive back seems shorter, though.
Exactly.
That's always about travel.
Exactly. It's not even. It doesn't feel like anything. I might fall asleep on the way home, but it's fine. I mean.
Yeah, it sort of happens.
Get some Monster in you, and you'll be good.
Really, they had nothing to do. That doesn't even have anything to do with racing, but
what?
So is Tom Brady softer than Cristiano Ronaldo?
It's close. Probably close.
Probably close?
Oh, yeah, pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Tom Brady, so.
Yeah, true. That's why I go with the soccer player.
Nah, I'm not a fan of soccer either, so I mean, I can't really.
I just go with that because I just hate Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'm more of a basketball. I mean, I'm all Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Cavs, Cleveland Indians. Whatever has Cleveland in front of it, I'm a fan of, so.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't even know what team that dude plays on, but, you know, whatever. As long as you don't say Tom Brady, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So, Camping World. So, we're going to sit here and talk about, Camping World, favorite series, and why.
Oh, Camping World Trucks, Infinity Series, or Monster Energy. Actually, Jerry Smith is our part owner of the track, and he actually is credited with bringing the Camping World Truck Series to Mansfield when he was the promoter there. So, and I mean, honestly, all NASCAR, I'm not I haven't really been big fans of them lately, just with the rule changes and stuff they've had. Kind of taking the fun out of racing, but my favorite definitely has to be the Camping World Truck Series. It's kind of because the newer guys in the sport has a chance to come up and compete with Kyle Busch sometimes, Kevin Harvick, Austin Dillon, and all of them. And I mean, it's just they run short tracks. I love short tracks. They run at Martinsville, which actually is almost the exact same as Sandusky Speedway. They race at Bristol. They raced at Eldora too. Eldora is a dirt track down in southern Ohio. I actually went there for one of the Camping World Truck Series races, and I mean any racing is good racing, but that's great racing right down there.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until he started talking to him. So yeah, I got it. I got that message a few minutes ago. Yeah, I'm not I don't know all about NASCAR.
Yeah.
It's okay, you can take me out in the woods and take care of it. I'll say that. Is there any certain other thing?
Not really. I mean, we just a long year ahead of us. It's been a great off season. We've had multiple food drives, we have the Canton Swap Meet down in the Starr County Fairgrounds this weekend. Myself and our announcer Dave Wallencheck will be down there on bright and early Saturday morning. I believe we have to leave my house at 5 a.m. to get down there and get set up by 8. Get down there and get set up by 8 o'clock. So we'll be up and early, up and at 'em down there promoting the track. We'll be March 10th, we have a canned food drive from, I believe, 11 o'clock to 1:30 at Hamden Corners, and it's in Chardon, right on the border of Geauga and Lake County. There will be releasing or revealing 2 different figure 8 cars, Lou Hill Jr. and Ryan McAllister. Ryan's a rookie coming in the figure 8 class. Lou's he's kind of a young gun. He kind of hasn't really been able to get his first win. We'll be able to, and then the next weekend we'll be at the Piston Power Show, the Autorama. That's a pretty big event. It's at the IX Center, March, I believe, 16th, 17th, and 18th. Really, even if people don't like racing or people don't like auto sports or anything, I mean, mostly they'll be there. They'll take in the event. I believe we'll probably encounter probably 5,000 people, 10,000 people just asking what Painesville Speedway is. So I'll be there. Jerry Smith will be there. My dad will be there. Dave, Joe, Russ, Brandy, everyone will be there to promote the track and get the word out about us.
Then your favorite driver, he wants to know.
Favorite driver and what?
Probably NASCAR, which was Busch, right?
Yeah, Kyle Busch. Yeah, just the way he drives, the way his attitude is. I love it.
So, outside of that, I got nothing else. Except, thank you for coming, man.
No problem.
Definitely was a fun, interesting time.
Oh, yeah.
So, Kyle Busch sucks.
All right, that's not nice.
No, we're just going to leave it there.